the Prevail podcast. I hope that y'all are ready for this episode. This episode I titled Unlearned. And the reason that I went ahead and decided that I wanted to title this one Unlearned is because a lot of these questions that I have, which I have a total of 5 questions, are going to be about ways that we unlearn different things, even about ourselves, what we want people to unlearn about us, and how we are actively unlearning particular things or ways of being as we grow older. So I titled this Unlearn so that we can understand that it's okay, teach yourself the new way of being that works best for you. So without, any further ado, we're going to hop right into the first question. The first question that I have is, what is something you had to actively unlearn as you grew older? Hey, Harry. What is something you had to actively unlearn as you grew older? So I sat with this question for just a little while. I focused in on actively because this means it's something that I'm continually having to revisit, look over again as I'm growing older. It's not something that only changed due to circumstance. It's not something that I just wanted to change for a moment in time. Is something that I'm actively unlearning as I grow older. So, when I was young, just to go ahead and get right into the answer, I was always taught that if somebody hits you, you hit them back. And I'm not just speaking physically because as you grow older, you start to realize that that way of thinking, the if somebody hits you, you hit them back mentality, the revenge mentality, is something that you have to unlearn unless you want to continually go tit for tat with people when they take hits at you, and not just physical hits or things of that nature, but like, if somebody says something indirectly to you or directly to you, you don't have to retaliate. I like this way of thinking. And that's something that I'm unlearning, and I had to actively unlearn as I grew older, is that you don't always have to be vengeful. And yeah, like Harry said, the turn the other cheek method. Because it's in the Bible that you shouldn't return evil for evil, and you shouldn't engage with the fool and his folly. So, also, another thing I wanted to say in between is that this podcast was inspired by a coffee shop and also one of my favorite streamers named Hi Joe, Hyyyjoe. He has a tattoo that says Prevail. And I've always loved the word prevail because it's, one of the coffee shops that I love. But it just means a lot to me to see that words of the Lord and words, that mean positive things are something that somebody will put on their body, because most people put stuff like, just anything, might get a rose, you know what I'm saying? Like some crazy stuff. But I was just happy to see that. So shout out to Joe, shout out to Prevail Union in Alabama. And we're going to get right into the next question. What is a major misconception about yourself that you wish other people didn't have? Okay, so many things I could have said about, within this question. People have always misunderstood me in a way. So it was kind of difficult for me to pinpoint what was the major one. So I try to break questions down to make sure I'm not just giving you a whole list of misconceptions, and it's not the one that literally everybody has for me. The most common misconception that I've gotten from people in regard to me is that I am stuck up. Hey, Beanhead, I don't know where people get that from. I don't know why people think that I'm like this stuck up person, because it doesn't like line up to the person that I am for people to ever say that I'm the type of person that'll not talk to people just because I think I'm all that. That's the verbiage that people use, is that she thinks she all that, or blah blah blah. That is a major misconception, and I can't really go any further into that question because I don't understand why people would say that, because I'm the most to me, I'm one of the most humble people, because I grew in a position that helped me see like the lower half of things, and I've seen the good side, I've seen the bad side. So I wouldn't be a conceited person. I'm just to myself, but I can't really elaborate any further on that. I would have to ask people why they way. I try to, but typically when people say stuff like that, it really pushes me away from them. So I don't ask them any further questions. Okay. Now, the third thing is something that I had a tough time even writing down as a question, because I don't believe that I have any. But the question is, what are some or a few of my toxic relationship habits that I had to unlearn? Okay, I didn't write any of these answers down, and I'm honestly just going with the flow, and I'm in a flow state with it. So, to give you a couple of them, because I like to try to give more than just one example when it's something dealing with something like this. It didn't ask for a specific, it just said, what are some toxic relationship habits that I had to unlearn? With me, I had to unlearn having unreasonable expectations without the ability to measure those expectations. That's what makes them unreasonable. I was going to give you a second to breathe and think about that, but you can kind of rewind it if you want to. Listen to my answer. I said having unreasonable expectations in a relationship is one of the toxic traits that I had to unlearn. Not having like unreasonable expectations for what a person is supposed to do or be, but just what I expect from them was more than measurable, so to speak. Like it would be impossible to know if they're doing that or if they're not, like, you know. But so that's one. Another thing is I used to be very detached. And in some ways I feel like it was my way of protecting myself from becoming attached. I used to have a relationship that seemed like I would just disappear for weeks, and not like completely away from them, but just I would check out mentally for weeks and still be, you know, in communication with them, but it wouldn't be to any depth of whatever. I would literally just forget everything we even talked about just because I had other stuff going on. So yeah, those are the two things. I don't have any more. I don't know. Let me think. I don't give people a chance too. That's another thing too. That's another relationship toxic habit that I have that I'm still actively trying to unlearn. I don't give people a chance to make mistakes with me. I don't. I would rather you kind of remain in the outfield before I let you in. I want you to make all your mistakes before you come to me. And I know that's impossible, but that's why I said I'm actively learning how to let that part of myself go with people making mistakes. I don't want a lot of mistakes once we get to the game. Like I want you to make all your mistakes in practice if you can. Now, another thing. What's the hardest part about healing? Now, I looked at this question and realized that it didn't have any specific topic. It didn't say what's the hardest part about healing from blank, blank, blank. It just said what's the hardest part about healing. To be honest, the hardest part about healing in general is realizing that you need to heal, identifying the fact that healing is necessary. Listen, it's deep because you will think that you are perfectly okay. Like, you'll just think that you're perfectly okay. You would never know that you had something inside of you that was still torn about a situation that you didn't think needed that much attention. You know how, okay, say for instance, you get a paper cut and you think to yourself, like, oh, this is just a paper cut. And then the next day you start to realize, like, oh, this starting to get hard, like on my finger. Like, I can feel this paper cut, like my skin getting a little tough, and all of a sudden your finger get bigger and bigger. Like, you remember when on that episode where I think somebody had a splinter on SpongeBob and the splinter was small and then it just started to gradually get bigger? I feel like that is a perfect example of how we look as people when we think of a situation as too small to recover from. Like, if you start thinking, okay, I'll be okay. This just a little bitty old splinter. And then all of a sudden you start carrying like stuff. You start picking stuff up and then you like, oh wait, that was a splinter in my finger for real. I can feel that now. Cause at first you're like, oh, something nicked me. You thought something got you. And then you start picking stuff up and you're like, oh no, it's something. Have you ever been walking and you step on something and then you like, oh nah, I'm good, it's gone. And then you continue to walk and then you feel that thing hitting or sticking your foot. You like, wait a goddamn minute. That sticky bug still under there. I thought that was good. Like, I thought I scraped that off. Or if you eat some mullet, if y'all eat mullet, and you think you got all the bones out of there. You thinking you got a good old piece right there. You finna put it on the bread, little hot sauce, mustard motion, and you bite into it, and you get to swallow it, and you feel something in your neck that's not supposed to be there. And you like, hold on now. You start reaching for beverages and stuff because you didn't properly take all the bones out. So that's what I think is the hardest part about healing. And I know I went so hard into that point, but the hardest part about healing is knowing when you need to, especially if it's something that doesn't affect you right away. You won't process it. Like, and I too had that issue sometimes. Now, the last question that I have for myself before I get into a yapping rampage is, how do I navigate outgrowing friendships? As I'm starting to, everybody's getting older, but as we start to get older, you're going to outgrow friendships. And some people take it that you have to be at a particular position in life to outgrow somebody. As in, if, okay, say for instance, you got a friend and they're doing really, really good. And you like, okay, but you see that you're going in a different way than them. And you thinking to yourself, like, damn, this friend, even though they doing good, I still can't be around them because we just don't match. I don't match with them. We just don't match. It's not going to work out because our values are different. Like, okay, this is another one. I was going to give you an example with people, but I'm going to use just like close enough scenarios. And if you are a person who feel like, you know, you feel like me, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. I'm a woman. Most of my viewers are men. If I'm going to be friends with the content creator who has a similar dynamic as in viewership, if most of her like viewers are men and most of my viewers are men on this particular app that I'm on, I want to make sure that the person that I am friends with is not a person that takes advantage of the people that view her, because then you become a product of your environment, whether you know it or not. Because I've been okay. Thank you. You become a product of your environment, whether you know it or not. You start picking up on little traits, because I've even had male friends who aren't, you know, into boys, but they would tell me that I need to do a particular thing in order to gain more from the people, you know? And it's like, even though everybody wants the finer things in life, and some people say they don't, it's about the means, or, the means at which you acquire those things. I don't plan on being a e-girl. Like, I don't want to be a girl that starts out having good content. My community is about finding connections with people that you become lifelong, affiliates. I don't want people to click into my thing and feel the urge like they on some nasty site. Hey, now we can have our moments. We are all grown. We can have our moments, but I don't want you to feel like, oh yeah, every time I click on him, this girl is gonna feed my lower self, whether a male or female. I don't want people to be doing that. The only time I'm trying to feed somebody lower self is if we in person. Now that's different. I ain't gonna lie, cause I'm gonna keep it a real. Cause I just got a feeling in my heart to tell y'all that me online and me in person are two different people. Same values, different presentation. I am a quiet person, for real, for real. I don't talk for real unless I know you. I sit back, I read, I don't say much. But when I get on here, I actively engage y'all and include you with the books that I'm reading, the journals, or all of the little stuff that I got going on. And I'm actually talking to my TikTok at the same time. I'm actually talking to y'all at this part. This part, YouTube don't know anything about that. They don't know anything about actively engaging and chatting with them, because I haven't gotten to that point with my YouTube lives yet. Usually I have a set thing that I want to do when I get on YouTube live, and I do that thing whether I'm on the Prism app streaming directly from the YouTube app like this or something. But with my TikTok community, not you. No, I'm not shy. I'm not shy. I'm a woman of very few words in public. But when I'm comfortable, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk. And then don't let me like you. Like, as a person. Don't let me like you as a person. I'm gonna try to talk to you. And not like that. But I actually have friends that I've outgrown, and they would tell you that before I realized the type of people that they were, I would talk to them about anything. And that's why I feel like podcasting and content creation, all of the stuff like that comes to me naturally, because I'm the type of person that could carry on a conversation by myself. That's literally what I'm doing with this. You see the vibe I've created. This is my phone. This is a black screen. I have notes on a pad, and I'm just sitting here actively going along with a conversation. And I'm breaking the fourth wall with this podcast right now by even telling y'all that that's what's going on. I have my notepad. I'm looking at this screen with the PP on it. And I made that graphic for this. And it's like, nobody is here with me. I'm not just doing this in front of a live audience. Even though I have my TikTok here, they not saying anything in regard to the podcast. We talking about other stuff, and we just saying hey to each other and really touching bases because it's Tuesday. Like it's Taco Tuesday. And I'm honestly just trying to see where the tacos at for real, for real. But anyway, like I was saying, I love to make connections with people. Um, I had someone mention to me that I would make a good like teacher when I was young, and as I got older, people used to tell me that still, and they still do now, that most of my lives, whenever I'm doing anything within an educational realm, like reading over some literature, we looking over Bible study and stuff, I have a structure about the way I show people stuff that allows them to understand with the methodical way. It's like a I do, you do, we do. So it's like I'll read something to them and then I'll ask them a question based on that. Like, have y'all ever seen that, or do this example make sense to you? That's like the you do part. And then the we do is when we just talk about it back and forth until it dies down and we talk about something else. Where are the tacos being had for real? Like, I don't know if I can take this too much longer. It's been like 3 weeks. I have not had Taco Tuesday in 3 weeks, bro. I'm starting to lose vision in my left ear. But nah, for real. I did just want to hop on and do that with y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much because I want this podcast to be strict. I want to keep, you know, a particular vibe and flow while I'm on. And I hope that y'all are having a blessed day. We are almost 22 minutes into this. Today is August the 4th, 2026. And this was the Prevail podcast. And we talked about unlearning some things. If you've watched this video up until this point, make sure that you click the like button, leave a comment answering one of the questions. Um, Pick your favorite question. Find somebody in the comments who also answered a question. Read over theirs and connect with them. Subscribe to this channel and beware because I will be back. And I'm bringing Harry with me too and Beanhead. But we're going to be doing some stuff like phone calls, actively chatting soon. And I'm not saying it's gonna be Harry and Beanhead, but I'm saying like I'm just telling y'all it's gonna be some people in like a group format with me, and we're gonna be talking and answering questions and staying on task and doing some stuff like that so that you can have more perspectives. Because as this podcast gets bigger, I want to actively be talking back and forth with my chat. So also, if you watch up until this point, leave a comment if you want to be a part of an episode. Trust me, there's going to be so many episodes where there's going to be different things. Even if I don't have the particular topic that you want to talk about, I'm down to take ideas in my Discord. So if you are interested, you should download the Discord app and follow me. All of my Discord information is on my Twitch. I can't put the Discord information in the link tree for some reason. I don't know why, but Linktree and Discord don't connect. But if you go to my Twitch, which is on my link tree, ctncerti on Instagram, or you can go directly to the Linktree website. Is linktr.ee/ certified T lot. Gotcha. It's actually psych. It's actually linktr.ee/ ctncerti. The reason that I started spelling the other one is because that's my YouTube name. But the link tree is linktr.ee/ctncerti. And from there, you'll go to my Twitch. And from Twitch, you'll go to Discord. Now, you can save a whole bunch of time on that if you want to by just going to my Instagram, which is the same, it's ctncerti, and you can send me a message and let me know, like, hey, this is blah blah blah, and I'm interested in being a part of an episode. Now, this video may or may not get all the hits that I want, but I want y'all to know that even if this video is 30 years old and it just take off and go viral, and you want to be like, oh yeah, I watched that Prevail podcast episode Unlearn, and I want to still make something, even if it's 30 years later, I may or may not open back up the Prevail podcast if it's closed and do an episode with you. That's how much I love I love never mind. All right, y'all. If you know, you know. If you don't, you still trying to figure it out. I love you so much. Make sure y'all stay cute, keep it cute, and prevail.